Wait, pause right there. Did Taehyung really just say, "our home"? And then Jungkook suddenly appeared in what looked like the exact same place not long after? At first, everyone assumed it was just a casual live, a simple house moment. Calm vibes, nothing unusual, but then that one word slipped out, "our." And since then, the internet hasn't been calm. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Not long after, Jungkook was seen in a space that felt almost identical. The lighting, the atmosphere, the comfort level, even the way he moved around didn't look like someone visiting for the first time. Coincidence? Maybe, but what if we missed something bigger? Before you decide, watch closely, because one small detail might completely change how you see this visit. What makes this situation so compelling isn't only the word "our" or even the timing, it's the overall feeling of the live itself. It felt calm, almost too calm. Taehyung wasn't rushing through the space like someone giving a quick preview. He moved slowly and comfortably, as if every corner already held familiarity. The way he leaned against the wall, the way he casually adjusted the camera without hesitation, it didn't feel staged, it felt lived in. Then came Jungkook's appearance, not announced, not teased, just there. When he stepped into a similar-looking environment later, fans immediately began connecting the dots. The layout felt comparable, the ambiance carried the same soft tone, even the energy between those moments felt aligned. It wasn't loud confirmation, it was subtle continuity, and subtle continuity is what keeps people watching. Because if this was simply a friend visiting, that's completely normal. If it was just two separate spaces with similar aesthetics, that's possible too. Modern interiors can look alike, lighting can match, furniture styles can overlap. But here's the question that keeps resurfacing. Why did it feel so natural? Jungkook didn't appear cautious. He didn't look like someone exploring a new place for the first time. There was no visible hesitation in how he occupied the space. It looked easy, comfortable, familiar. And comfort is difficult to fake, which is where the curiosity deepens. Taehyung's tone during the live carried a softness, not secretive, not dramatic, just grounded. The kind of tone someone uses when they feel safe in their environment. And when he said "our," it didn't sound like a joke. It didn't sound emphasized. It slipped out smoothly, like a word that already belonged there. Maybe it meant nothing beyond shared memories. Maybe it referred to a shared space in a broader sense. Maybe it was symbolic. But what people found interesting was what happened next. No correction, no playful backtracking, no "I meant" explanation, just silence. And sometimes silence speaks louder than clarification. What truly amplifies the mystery is how normal everything remained afterward. If it had been a major mistake, you might expect visible tension. If it were a deliberate reveal, you might expect follow-up hints. Instead, there was balance, and that balance creates intrigue because it suggests that whatever that moment represented, it wasn't chaotic behind the scenes. It felt steady, routine, possibly ordinary to them. Fans began revisiting older clips, comparing layouts, studying background textures, observing how natural their interactions seemed during that time frame, not searching for scandal, but searching for consistency, because consistency is powerful. If future broadcasts show the same environments again, the narrative strengthens quietly. If everything shifts completely, the mystery softens into coincidence. But right now, it stays in that delicate middle ground, neither confirmed nor denied, just existing. There's something captivating about a story that doesn't demand attention, yet holds it effortlessly. This situation isn't driven by explosive statements. It's driven by atmosphere, by tone, by a single word that somehow felt heavier than it sounded. And maybe the real intrigue isn't about the house at all. Maybe it's about growth. Taehyung has seemed more settled lately, more centered. Jungkook carries a similar grounded energy. When two people move in the same calm rhythm, curiosity naturally sparks, especially when small overlaps appear. But here's the thing. Not every meaningful moment is meant to be publicly dissected. Some moments are just glimpses of real life slipping through the screen for a second too long. And that's why this chapter remains so magnetic. It wasn't loud enough to confirm anything. It wasn't clear enough to dismiss. It simply happened. Now every new live feels like a quiet continuation. Viewers aren't waiting for a confession. They're watching for familiarity, for repeated details, for the same warmth in the lighting, for the same relaxed posture that signals comfort. Will another word slip out? Will another visit feel just as natural? Will the background subtly confirm what people suspect? Or will this remain a perfectly balanced mystery forever tied to that one soft moment? Until something undeniable appears, the story lives in possibility, and sometimes possibility is more powerful than certainty. Days passed, but the conversation didn't slow down, it evolved. First, everyone focused on the word, then they focused on the visit. Now people are focusing on patterns, because patterns are harder to dismiss than single moments. During Jungkook's follow-up appearance, the background felt even more intentional. The angle changed slightly, revealing just enough of the space to spark another wave of speculation. A different corner, a different wall, the same warmth, the same calm. It didn't feel accidental. Then there was the energy shift. Taehyung seemed lighter, not dramatically, just subtly more at ease. The kind of ease that comes from being somewhere you truly belong. His voice felt steady. His laughter didn't echo awkwardly like it sometimes does in unfamiliar rooms. It blended naturally into the space. That detail didn't go unnoticed. Meanwhile, Jungkook's presence around the same time frame added another layer. Not because of anything obvious, not because of grand gestures, but because of how synchronized everything felt. Their schedules looked aligned. Their downtime seemed to overlap in ways that made fans raise eyebrows without any solid proof. And it's the absence of chaos that makes this so intriguing. If it were meant to shock, it would feel louder. Instead, it feels steady, almost protected. Here's the detail that keeps resurfacing. Familiarity shows in the smallest habits. The way someone reaches for a light switch without searching, the way they sit without adjusting to a new couch, the way they move through a room without glancing around to orient themselves. Those micro movements are instinctive. When Jungkook appeared comfortable in that environment, it didn't look rehearsed. It looked like muscle memory, and muscle memory doesn't form in a single visit. Or does it? That's the tension. There's still room for coincidence, there's still room for interpretation, but each new glimpse adds weight to the narrative instead of reducing it, and the silence continues. No clarification, no playful denial, no teasing acknowledgement, just normal content moving forward, which almost makes it louder, because when something truly doesn't matter, it's usually brushed off quickly, but when something simply exists as truth, there's no urgency to explain it. Maybe that's what we're witnessing. Not a reveal, not a secret, just two people existing in a rhythm that feels natural. But until there's a clear answer, curiosity won't fade. Every new background detail will be examined. Every casual word will be replayed. Every subtle glance will be analyzed for familiarity. And if one day another unguarded word slips out, something more definitive, the entire timeline might suddenly make sense. For now, we're left with fragments, a word, a visit, a comfort level that feels deeper than surface interaction. The question isn't whether something happened, the question is whether we already saw the proof and didn't fully recognize it yet. And that possibility keeps everyone watching. As more time passes, the moment starts to feel less like an accident and more like a quiet turning point, not because anyone confirmed anything, but because nothing changed. Taehyung continues to appear relaxed in that space. The camera doesn't avoid certain angles. The atmosphere stays consistent. If there was something to hide, wouldn't there be adjustments by now? Different backgrounds, different setups, a noticeable shift? Instead, the consistency remains, and consistency builds confidence. Then came another subtle moment fans can't stop replaying. During a casual interaction, Taehyung paused for half a second before answering a simple question about where he was. It wasn't long. Most people wouldn't even notice. But in situations like this, half a second feels significant. It didn't feel nervousness. It felt like choosing words carefully. And careful wording usually means something matters. Meanwhile, Jungkook's content began showing tiny parallels, similar decor themes, similar ambient lighting tones. Even the quiet background sound felt familiar to sharp-eyed viewers. Of course, none of this is definitive. Modern homes can share design trends. Neutral palettes are common. Warm lighting is popular. But the overlap keeps stacking. And the biggest detail is this: comfort never looks forced. When Jungkook moves through that environment, there's no exploratory energy, no first-time curiosity. It's subtle, but it's there. The way someone casually leans against a counter, the way they instinctively know where to place something down. Those aren't dramatic clues, they're natural ones, and natural clues are harder to fake. What makes this even more intriguing is how calm everything feels publicly. No exaggerated